Hello, everyone. Hello. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Hello. 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 Hey, y'all. Kim Roundtree here. I empower executives, leaders, and entrepreneurs who feel held back by their limiting beliefs. And I help them overcome procrastination and perfectionism in order to shift their mindset. I help them reignite their passion for uh, what matters most in their life, right? And they're able to make faster, more impactful decisions. In short, I interrupt those who feel stuck and need to get out of their own way. That's what I do. All right. Tonight's topic is revive and thrive. Revive and thrive. That is uh, the topic for tonight. Let me type that. Revive and thrive. Mm. Revive and thrive. So, what do you think of when you hear the word emotions? What do you think of when you hear the word emotions? Put it in the comment section so I can see it there. What do you hear or think when you hear the word emotions? For most people, emotions are, what they have in the dictionary if you look it up. It's like the collection of thoughts, feelings, perceptions, and they form your state of mind, right? And your state of mind can be influenced by your relationships, your experiences, your circumstances, all of that. And there's nearly always nearly always instinctive and intuitive um, things that come to mind based on reasoning or factual stuff. Like if you're we're more instinctive and intuitive than just fact, if that makes sense. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So stress, anxiety, fear, doubt, uncertainty, they all describe some people's reality when you aren't in a great emotional state. When you're not in a great, healthy emotional state, sometimes you might feel fear and stress, anxiety, doubt, unbelief, uncertainty, all of that stuff. And for more, um, if you want more of the opposite, you're going to have to shift your mindset and change your words and do something different. So, I want to give you 3 tips. I wrote them down or typed them down. 3 tips for emotional self care. 3 tips for emotional self care. 3. Okay, the first one is get physical. Okay, first, let me just tell you this. When I come to you and I'm talking to you about these things, it's most often than not I've dealt with it before or I'm currently dealing with it now. I'll tell you if I haven't gotten through a particular area, and I'm still struggling in this area. And this one is one of them. Get physical. The number one thing. 3 tips for emotional self care. And you would wonder or ask, what does getting physical have to do with your emotional self care? Well, it does. Your emotions don't exist on an island all by themselves. Your hormones, your physical factors, they all influence your emotional self-care. Your digestive system, your immune system, they can all cause emotional ups and downs. Y'all know that. If you're on here and you're a woman and you have ups and downs with your emotions, you know that there's physical factors and hormonal factors when it comes to your emotional um, self care. So the first thing is to get physical. Physical and emotional well being are intimately linked. Let me say that again. Physical and emotional well being are intimately linked. Okay. Hold on. I got to plug my, I think this is it in? I think, hold on. I'm trying to charge it and it won't charge. What in the world? Hold on. I don't know why. It would see, they don't want y'all to know. The internet gods don't want you to know. Uh, hold on. Okay, let me see. I think it's plugged in. Okay. All right. It's plugged in. Uh, all right. So yeah, I was talking to you. I was talking to you about 3 tips for emotional self care. 3 tips for emotional self care. Get physical. Get physical. That is number one. Get physical. Your emotions don't exist on the island. That's what I was saying earlier. Your emotions don't exist on the island, and your hormones and other physical factors influence them. And so your digestive health, your immune system, and all of that causes emotional ups and downs. That's for sure. We know that for sure. Physical and emotional well-being are intimately linked. Okay. So, because of this natural relationship, uh, you can realize emotional wellness by prioritizing physical activity. I'm telling myself that because it's not a priority. Lord help me. It's not. But I'm preaching to myself. Because of this natural relationship between emotions, hormones, physical factors, the the very first tip is get physical. And so you don't have to be a dedicated gym rat. That's not necessary. If you haven't never, if you're not there, don't feel bad, right? You don't you don't have to start there, or you don't have to undergo like bodybuilding classes or just do this big huge thing. You can just start with something. Start with 15 minutes. Start with 30 minutes a day of some sort of movement, right? Just something, Kim, just something. Woo, Lord help me. So, all of that regulates your hormones and other chemicals. And what that does is it does influence your emotions. It just does. All right. That's number one. Get physical. And then number two, you limit your exposure to external influences. Limit your exposure to external influences. And what do I mean by that? So how many times a day do you let life dictate what you feel? How many times a day do you let life dictate what you feel? That might sound like a silly question, right? Like I don't let anything dictate how what makes me feel, how I feel in life. But it happens. We don't know it happens, but it happens. Okay? Take time to consciously choose your emotions throughout the day rather than letting external influences dictate how you feel. It's hard, it's tight, but it's right. For instance, I'll give you an example. Um, there was a time when I would watch my favorite show, one of my favorite shows. I have a lot of them. I don't really watch TV like that, but what I'll do is if I like a show, I'll go back and watch it after it's recorded. But what was it? Oh God, what's the name? Lord Jesus is the one I like. It SVU. SVU. I like SVU. So there was a time when I first had Hannah and I was watching it, and then Hannah was going to daycare, or Hannah would go away to do something, spend it out of her friend's house, but she seldom did. I would always, for some odd reason, think about these things that could happen. And what I linked it to was because I was watching shows that put that in my spirit. So I would watch shows like where people were doing things to kids, or stuff like that. So I have the capacity not to watch that show. And so I stopped watching that show, especially when Hannah was younger, because it would just be it would just come across my mind, I just, yeah, it it was something for me. And so another thing that I stopped doing is listening to, or I mean watching TV, the news, specifically local news. I don't watch it. I haven't watched it unless I'm in the room with somebody and they have it on and I'm watching it. I don't watch it because it's depressing. And I don't need anything else to help me be depressed. I don't need it. There's enough going out there in the world where I don't need that to help me, right? So I choose not to watch it. If I watch CNN, or I think it's World News, with the guy who's like this, when he's talking with his arm on the table, I'll watch that every now and then. But I don't make it a habit to watch the news because it's too much, right? So those are the types of things that you can decide not to do. You don't have to. You decide what goes into your eyes and your ear gate. You decide what you spend time in and letting, come into your spirit, um, and focusing on. It can be as easy as you choosing to watch a show not for entertainment purposes. You think it is, but it ends up being stuff that you really think you really might think is going on in your own life. Like there's these shows that come out on, I don't know, is it on Hulu or Tubi? It's like the black movies. Oh, I don't know the names of them, but whatever they are, it's like the married couple are together, and then the husband might cheat, and they know that the woman is cheating, their wife is cheating, and then they go together and be together with another woman, or um and then one of them doesn't tell the other person, and it's just this whole big old thing on this series. um and then they have a camera in the room, so when one's gone they watch. It's really like, so when you spend time with watching those types of things, then you're in your own relationship, and then you're like, I wonder if that's going on in my relationship. I wonder if, and then you start thinking, it's just what it's normal. If you're going to, if you're not looking at it for entertainment purposes, because that's what it is. Those people aren't even on the TV, they're like at home. Those things aren't really happening, you all, right? It's not real. But sometimes we have it seem like it's real, like it's entering into our life. So the we can make a decision not to look at those things. So take time to consciously choose what you decide to let in your eyes and your ears, okay? So it helps you feel the way that you want to feel. Minimize exposure to news, social media, um, other situations that might trigger an automatic and negative emotional response. We know that. We know what those things are, but we're drawn to it sometimes. And what we'll do is we'll expose ourselves to it. But if you want to help your life in emotional self care, you have to do something about it. So the first thing was get physical. The second thing is don't listen. I'm sorry, not don't listen. The second thing was limit your exposure to external influences. And then number three is don't listen to your they call it monkey mind chatter. Don't listen to your monkey mind chatter. Don't listen to your monkey mind chatter. It's in the Buddhists. When I was researching it, the Buddhists talk about the monkey mind, the monkey mind. This is a state of restlessness, constant inner dialogue that's usually negative, and it's self talk that seems to dream up the worst possible scenarios. That's that's monkey mind chatter. Monkey mind chatter. You can think all of these things are about to happen, and it's crazy. Like it's you have to cut that off. These are just thoughts. And psychologists say that almost all of the thousands of micro thoughts you have daily are negative and will not impact your life unless you give them power. These thoughts that we have consistently over and over and over again that we really think are going to happen, right? It's negative monkey mind chatter. And we have to stop thinking about it. Smile when your thoughts are inevitably negative. Smile. You can't smile and think negative at the wrong at the same time. So try, right? Smile. You are in control. Instead of imagining a bad outcome, embrace the idea that positive things will happen. Wake up each morning. We did we had a retreat, Monica and I, 2 weeks ago, and we did a self care plan. My self care plan's over there. But one of my self care plans was that I was going to wake up every morning, take 15 minutes, go into my sitting room, and what I was going to do is sit there and listen to one of my audiobooks, or read a book, or listen to music, do something, right? So wake up each morning telling yourself that these silly thoughts aren't going to intrude on your day. When you do that, this prepares you for dealing with them so they don't keep you from enjoying happy thoughts or feelings. These things happen. I remember when, I don't know, I hope I can explain it to you all because you're going to think I'm weird, but you know, that's fine. I am. So there was a time when, like, I would listen to something. I might be talking to somebody, and they'll say, "Hey, did you hear about so and so and so and so? They had, mm, they broke their foot, or no, they fell down, and that's how they found out they had cancer, or they broke their foot, and that made them go to the doctor, and the doctor found out that da 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 da." So there was a time when I would take on that conversation and put it on my life. There was a time when I said, "Oh my God, I need to go to the doctor. Like I need to go in that machine and have them check everything in my body to make sure everything's good." I used to think like that. Yeah, I used to think like that. It was weird. It was really, really weird. And those are negative thoughts just scrambling around in your head that those things are going to happen. It's really weird. Antoine, you said I usually say, don't let your thoughts walk around your mind unsupervised. Right. Like for real, Antoine. Like as Hannah would say, no cap. Yeah, because what happens is they'll be up in your mind and you'll think on it and over and over and over again, and then it messes with your emotions. Then you're depressed or you're crying, and because you're thinking the same thing is going to happen to you or somebody in your family or somebody that you love or whatever. And so then now you're thinking, well, what am I going to do if this happens? What am I going to do if I'm thinking it's not even going to happen. What why am I even thinking like that? Right? So don't don't listen to your monkey mind chatter. Don't listen to it. All right. So now what we were talking about, this is the topic for today, for tonight. It was revive and thrive. Revive and thrive, mastering emotional self-care. And I was telling you, I was giving you three things that you can do immediately. They're practical. And number one is get physical. That was number one. And then number two was to limit your exposure to external influences, meaning the influences that influence you negatively. If they influence you positively, you don't need to get rid of them. You don't need to limit them. But we're talking about things that are negatively impacting your life. Limit exposure to those. That's number two. Okay. And then number three was don't listen to your monkey mind chatter. That's it. Have you all, let me know in the comment section, what do you do? Not what do you do? Let me ask you this question this way. How many of you have experienced monkey mind chatter? Those thoughts that come into your head that are negative, and you continually think about it and then it goes on to something else, and then that creates something else. How many of you all have experienced that? Or am I the only one? Am I the only one? I dare not say. Let me know in the comment section if you've experienced that. And then if you have experienced that, what gets you out of that cycle? What do you do to get you out of that cycle? Let me know that too. Okay. So anyway, thank you all for thinking about me and stopping by when you're seeing me on this live. Thank you for listening to Talking Tuesdays. I'm on here Tuesdays at 7 p.m. If I'm not on here, it's because I'm watching, I'm with Hannah. We've traveled to volleyball to see some of her games. Some of them are during the week. If I'm there, then I won't be here because that's my priority. Okay. But other than that, I'll be here Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. If something comes up, I'll let you know. I won't be able to be here. But again, this is what I'm letting you know. I'm present when I'm present. If something's going on with Hannah, I'll be there. If I have something planned with my husband, I'll be there. And because those two individuals are my priority, and this is not. But I will be here because I say I'm going to be here. But if I'm not, I'll let you know. So thank you all for joining me for Talking Tuesdays. I'm here 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesdays. Please let me know in the comment section if you put hashtag me, me, I will send you a gift, something that you might want to listen to. All right. All righty then. That's it, y'all. Until next time.